Bearcat Bounce podcast. Back at it again. Monday. Mm-hmm. Not one, not two, not three, four. Count them, four more Bearcats drafted into the NFL Monday. Shouts to that. Shouts as well. How about a little baseball? Fun, thrilling baseball. Huge victories against ranked teams. Now we're ranked. Monday baseball. We're going to dive in fully into that. And basketball offseason continuing to chug in the right direction. Coach Calhoun putting together himself a nice little roster. But I tease baseball a little bit. So that's the Monday that we're going to start with, and that's my favorite kind of Monday. So it's a Monday where I'm joined by everyone. We are fully assembled. I mean, we have a good starting five. Meet me on the hardwood. So without further ado, it's time to welcome the guys, the crew, the squad. Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, Ryan Royer, and Coach Jordan Bischel. Gentlemen, how are we?
Well, I mean, I'd normally in this space tell you how I was, but it would involve lasagna, and Coach Bischel doesn't really care for the food talk.
No,
so I'm just going to say I'm good, and we're not going to go 6 minutes into this podcast before we start the interview.
Food's never ending this time of year for me. We're feeding 20-year-olds that are playing baseball every day, and I'm eating like them. So it'll be a long treadmill season coming up.
I just saw someone peeking over your corner. Who was that?
That was Chase, my 6-year-old. I got Luke Parker and Chase running around. Chase usually goes to bed at 8 o'clock, so he gets some bonus time tonight. I told him he could pop into the podcast if he wanted to. You'll see him probably about every 4 minutes, just curious, and then run away when he gets talked to.
I need to ask him one question at some point, so make sure you give me a heads up.
He was in heaven yesterday. His brothers went to the Reds game for a birthday party, so it was just Chase at our game, and after the win, he was the one that got all the attention from our players, so he was eating it up.
Another nice. Starting five, and then he's our sixth man. Look at that.
Yeah.
Might bring Aaron off the bench and start Chase though. Let's be honest. But yeah, okay, Chad. Sounds good. How are we? We'll pass right over you.
Good.
Aaron?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Lasagna, the whole nine. Congratulations.
It was really good. It's the best lasagna I've ever made.
Okay. Cottage cheese, ricotta. I mean,
no bechamel. Made my own bechamel.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's okay to share. Nobody gets upset with that.
I'll bring you some. I mean, it got eaten pretty quick, but the secret brand, in case you were wondering, thanks, Tonk. Calabrian chili sausage from Findlay Market.
That'll do it.
It was outstanding.
Rory knows that'll do it. All right.
Come on.
Very, very nice. Aaron, how are we, man?
I'm good. Much like Chad, I like to keep these short, so I'll say mine would involve a 6-iron, some ice cubes, and a stuffed buffalo, but I won't get into that story.
Golf, buffalo trade.
Just keep it moving.
Okay, fair enough. We'll touch on it later. Royer, the boy, got the suit behind you. Wedding done in the past. We're gonna talk about that after we're done with Coach. But how are we, man?
Doing great. Great weekend. I indulged in some golf as well, Aaron. Horrible performance, but time to ride all the sadness here with Coach Bischel.
There we go. There needs to be more and Coach, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Like you can just go to the golf course and go practice, hit off the range if you want, get a quick 9 in. You can go to the football field and throw around on the diamond. You can go to Top Golf. You can go to the basketball court, shoot some hoops. Baseball for us, like older men that our prime is in our past. Not you included in this part, but we can't go to the diamond and just play catch with ourselves. We gotta come up with something.
Anything can be done for a price. I can assure you that. So if it's worth enough to you, we'll make that field incredibly available. But it's a pretty heavy pulled muscle sport. I think swinging a bat is just not safe for the swinger or those in the vicinity. I think to save us all from ourselves, maybe we'll let the Jag Natillis and Derrick Pitts take care of that.
You've got a good point. Slow pitch softball, you hit one and you're digging one out at first. Boy, that hammy tells you, what are you doing?
You don't move as often, but when you do, it's kind of quick and sudden, and I think can just be destructive.
I completely agree. It's a running joke in one of my friend group chats. It's like, when do you think was the last time you full out sprinted? And everyone's always like, oh man, years. But that's different. Anyway, Coach, without further ado, my man, what is it? 3 straight series victories,
3 straight
back-to-back Sunday thrillers. I mean, golly, how are we, Coach?
Yeah, we're doing well. It's been good. I think it was, 3-4 weeks ago now. We had a rough weekend at Oklahoma State, which we got a young lineup, and this league can beat you up a little bit. Everybody's good. And I told our guys that it wasn't the weekend that was going to define our season. It's how we responded to it. And I kind of told them, hey, don't make sure nobody lets us get hot, because I knew if we could settle into a little bit of a groove, we've got the pieces in place to do some really good things. And I think I'm just really proud of how they're getting after it and the depth of the team showing up. I mean, if you talk about our pitching staff, it's going to be a conversation about Nate Taylor first and foremost, right? And each of the last 2 weeks, we got beat the game he pitched. Not necessarily his fault, but we just didn't find a way to get it done. And so to come back and win game 2 and 3, both of those weekends, I think it says a lot about character, the energy, the belief, the depth of the team. And so that's exciting.
Talk a little bit more about those back-to-back series wins that you recently had. Chad, we'll hop on when you're ready. But it seemed as if both Sundays at the opponent, whether it be at UCF or home against West Virginia, kind of looked like they might have been in control of the game, and you guys never really backed down. It was kind of one of the more thrilling comeback victories in both of them. Is that kind of like what you're saying, just hitting the groove at the right time?
Yeah, we've got kind of 8 staples in our program. You see the little hashtag 10 games on our Twitter, and there's a lot that goes into that. But the G stands for grit and having to be tough and dealing with adverse situations and being excited about those things. And in this league, you're not going to win a whole lot of games going away, win them easily. And we've had to learn. We've had 6 or 7 sophomores, freshmen in the lineup pretty regularly. And I think you have to learn to be, I guess I would say, be comfortable being uncomfortable, where you're in a little bit of trouble, you're behind, and you just trust who you are, and you keep going and you keep playing and you believe in what you're doing. And we did that a lot early, but it was against not bad competition, but like UC San Diego, solid program. But has it got the depth and talent of the teams in our league? Probably not. And I think having that belief when there's a pitcher on the mound who's 95 with a good slider and he's trying to put you away, you can still find a way to get the job done. And it doesn't always have to be pretty, but you got to keep battling. And I'm really proud of that growth. And once you do it a couple of times, now it starts to spin in that, you start to believe here it comes. And I think yesterday, we're down 5-2 in the 7th, and we got out of a bases loaded situation, and we're down still in the 8th, and we get out of another bases loaded situation. And all of a sudden you see guys saying like, hey, they had their chance to kill us and they didn't. So we did this last week. Let's go out and put a little pressure on, see what happens. And then it's rolling in the right direction.
When you bring up last week and just out of curiosity, I mean, you in the series against UCF, you lose the first game, you come back and win the 2 second games, especially on a Sunday where Sundays haven't been kind to you all season by and large. And then against a ranked opponent in UCF, then you have West Virginia. Again, you dropped the first game of the series, but you came back and won both those series. Is there any type of adjustment you made in the UCF series that kind of steered yourself in that direction that you were able to command?
Yeah, a little bit. That first UCF loss, I think, dropped our league record to 6-10. Our RPI, which is an ultra important metric in our sport, has stayed in a really good spot all year. But ultimately, if you don't win league games, that's not going to matter. And I think our guys had started to sense like, man, 6-10, we're going to have to get going. And you look at the schedule and you say we're playing a ranked team the next 5 games. There was nothing going to be easy there. And we played really poorly, and I thought we played passively that Friday night at Central Florida. And I think I've tried really hard this year to be, pretty calm in how I've approached the team, and not hands off, but pretty reserved because I knew it was a really young lineup, and I didn't want them to feel like they had to be too geeked up or put too much pressure on. And it just dawned on me that I thought we were starting to question if we're good enough to do it. And I really changed my tone going into Saturday, that we needed to go out there with the attitude that we put in the time. We're good enough. We're going to be tough, and understand that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. We're going to have some adverse situations, but we need guys to, be bulldogs in the batter's box. And I talked to them a little bit about, you guys probably remember Nolan Richardson in Arkansas basketball, the 40 minutes of hell. We're going to make everything hard for you all 9 innings. We're going to attack the strike zone. We're going to be tough to put away at the plate. We're going to pressure you in the running game. We're going to make every play defensively. But we got to give teams 9 innings of hell. We got to make it really hard to play us. And to our guys' credit, they came out just with an attitude that we just were not going to go down without throwing punches. Played a really good game, one of our best in the year that Saturday, and then fell behind on Sunday and just punched back again. And that's again started to build some momentum. And the loss to West Virginia to start the weekend, it's hard to fault a 13-inning loss to a top 15 team. And, but again, that game ended on Saturday, and we had 30 minutes to say, hey, get back on track, go get it done. And then sure enough, in the 4th inning of that game, Logan Knight, who's pitched great the last month, goes out with some tightness in his elbow. And again, would have been easy to say, geez, we used a bunch of bullpen. Now we're going into it in the 4th. And you just buckle down and you just keep going. And so they've kind of flipped a switch a little bit in terms of, hey, we're going to take control of this situation and do something about the fact that we need to string some together here. Well,
first off, unbelievable marketing by you. I'm sure it was completely your idea to make the final Friday of the school year be a fun one for the students. First one on Coach Bischel. So.
Yeah, now we better make the postseason because I got to pay for it with something. So.
Exactly.
But Mountain Dew sending a check, I wouldn't complain right now. But yeah,
sent it yet? No.
Our fan support, no, nothing yet. Our fan support over the weekend was awesome. Students showed out on Friday. We had great crowds, non-student students, band, everybody showed up. I think it was a record weekend in terms of attendance, which was awesome. We want to make that place a really tough place to play. We've done a good job over the last few years, and if we can keep building that support there, it's electric. If you go to West Virginia, and you kind of saw it in the stands, they had a lot of fans actually at our park, but they create a great atmosphere there. Now they've kind of been building this thing in the right direction for a while, but we want to replicate that here, and we want to make it a really hard place to play.
Before we go any further, I do want to go back to the Sunday at UCF. First off, great seeing you there, Coach. A little
absolutely pleasant surprise.
Someone snapped an awkward picture of me like sprawled out over the dugout trying to talk to you, which was
people do crawl to get to contact with me. It's not abnormal. So.
Yeah, you had a good look at it. It was all good. So but second off, one of the more fun games to be at. It was just homers galore, obviously. This day and age in baseball, home runs and strikeouts. So there was plenty of that. But I can't go any further because I am the chairman, the founder, and the owner of the Derrick Pitts fan club. First off, I want to give a shout out to DP. Took a picture with my nephew after the game. Very nice. Also, DP caught the final catch of the final out for the West Virginia game on Sunday. Nephew loved that as well. But that game on Sunday, is that one where you kind of take a step back and you're like, wow, we really it seemed like the team was completely engaged, completely locked in together. But a little bit more, talk about DP and that game-winning home run, that thriller.
Yeah. If you watch Derrick, if you sit down, I don't know if we talked about this earlier in the year, but if you ask Derrick right now who the best running back on the Cincinnati campus was, he would, with full conviction, tell you it's him. He believes he'd run for at least 1,200 yards in the Big 12. And then he'd end that season and he'd go play LeBron one-on-one and he'd dunk on him. And I mean, he is an ultra confident kid. But it was interesting last year as a freshman, that confidence got shaken pretty good because he got beat up pretty well. It was a big jump to college baseball, and he struggled his first semester and a half. But that deep-seated belief in himself, what's happened now is his work ethic is so off the charts that he's got this natural inner confidence, and now knows he's putting in the time. He knows he's outworking people, and all of a sudden you've got a kid on the field that just just believes in every situation. He's truly good, and it's got foundation to it now. He's come up with big hits, and he's prepared. He's put the time in, and that turns into an awfully good player. And you see the edge he plays with. He loves to play baseball. He absolutely loves to play baseball. And if you'd have seen him yesterday, we're down, 5-2 and late in the game, and Luke Sefcik hits that little chopper, and he's out by a half a step, and he's shaking me, Coach, you got to challenge it. You got it. I got it, Derrick. I can coach too. But he wants, and he doesn't care if he's 0 for 4. He just wants to play baseball and all of a sudden, when you're just worried about playing as hard as you can, when it's the 9th inning in a tie game with 2 outs and 2 strikes, you're not worried about failing. You're just excited about the opportunity to compete. You're not going to get that big hit every time, but you give yourself a great chance. And he did it against Utah a few weeks ago. We lost the game in game 3, but he hit a late home run after a big rally. There's really nobody you want up there more than him, because he just believes he's going to get it done, and he plays so dang hard. He was talking to Joe Ducell, one of our freshman outfielders, the other day, and he said, Joe, you'll become a great outfielder when you're not afraid to die from running into the wall. And he was dead serious. Like, you just can't care if it kills you. And I think he believes that. And he loves the play, and that's infectious, right? It spreads through the team. And I can't say enough good things about that kid.
Well, you bring up, his attitude and such, and that kind of makes me think, it's your 3rd year here in Cincinnati. So how would you say the culture and competitiveness of this group is in relation to your first 2 years here? And maybe what's one area where this team has exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, that first year was so interesting because there were no expectations. Not that I didn't have any, but when you're picked last in the league, when you've kind of got this conglomeration of returners that maybe played on some okay teams but hadn't had a ton of success, and some new guys, you look at Hunter Jesse, Seth Logue, local guys that came in for 1 year. I think they were just thrilled to play in the Big 12 and play in their home city. And not that they didn't want to win or think they could win, but it was really, every win felt like in some ways a bonus, and there wasn't a whole lot of pressure. And, it felt like we could just play the underdog role the whole time. And then last year, kind of building off that, we struggled a little bit in that we had a great opening series at Duke, but then we went through some tough times. And I think a lot of it was there were starting to be expectations. Like when you lose, all of a sudden you are surprised and you wonder what is wrong, and maybe a little bit of panic, and you put pressure on yourself. And we had to work through that, and we did. Played into a regional, and now it's starting to become the standard. Guys holding each other accountable. Now, this year's been different because it's such a young lineup. Nobody in high-level college baseball plays a bunch of freshmen and sophomores on a daily basis. I shouldn't say nobody, because we're doing it, but when I get the stat sheet before the game, the number of guys that say senior or junior, it's 80% of most of these lineups, and so that's a learning process. When things are going well, those guys are great, but when you fail a little bit and you start to question a little bit, that's tough. But it's been really fun to see guys that are kind of homegrown, mixed with some good transfers. That's always going to be a part of it. But guys like Derrick and Quentin that have just grown. Ryan Tyransky, there's a whole list of them. And even though Jack was a transfer his second year with us and starting to experience success, seeing that pride they're taking in it, that expectation that, when we take the field, it doesn't matter if the other team says number 14 or 25 or 22 or whatever they are. Like, it's just another team to us. We're just going to go try to play well and compete and win. And I think tied to all of that, stringing them together year after year now. If you look at our league, UCF was in a regional 2 years ago, but then last year they really struggled towards the bottom of the league. Arizona, amazing program, World Series last year. They're struggling towards the bottom of the league. And so 3 years in a row, at a place that 3 years ago was expected to be the worst team in the league, to say we're right in the heart of this thing. Maybe we're not winning the league. I get it. We want to keep getting better. But to say we can compete with anybody year after year after year, I think there's something pretty cool about that.
I just want to piggyback real quick off that. It's mainly Ryan Tyransky. What does it mean? Obviously redshirted last year. Coming in, he's brought a lot of pop to the top of the lineup. Does that help with your vision with other true freshmen this year that might not be getting as much playing time or that are also redshirting, to help them with the message that you're trying to convey?
100%. These guys can see there's a path to it. And it probably started a lot last year with Quentin. By mid-season, he started to get some playing time after not playing much. Then Derrick had barely played at all well into April. And then Donovan Ford had a leg injury, and that opened the door, and he ran with it. Late last year, we actually were kind of regretting redshirting Ryan. We thought he could really help us, but, Tommy was a really good player for us, Tommy O'Connor as a senior. And then we had a transfer, Dawson Hokoff, who was a good player. And it's a tough dynamic to take quality old guys and throw them on the bench for a true freshman. And so it was a tough decision. We decided to just ride it out, let him save the year. But he worked his butt off to prepare. But again, they see that you keep growing, you keep developing. Charlie Niehaus, another one. He redshirted as a freshman, had a nice year last year as a redshirt freshman. And these guys can see. And some guys, Enzo, it's amazing what he's doing as a freshman. But for most guys, that's not going to be the story they tell, right? They're not going to say I was in the lineup from game one freshman year. But yeah, in recruiting, we're going to talk about that. Guys that came in here and they all want to play. It may not be immediate, but we're going to work with you. We're going to grow you. You don't see a lot of places at our level anymore, redshirt, grow guys, develop guys. It's kind of a sink or swim, but we want to go out and consistently beat the best teams in the country. That's what we have to do. And it's fun to see. Our assistant coaches are amazing. Coach Petaruto, Coach Winsky, Taylor Sheriff, Kyle Schrader. I got to keep. There's a whole list of them now. We're well supported. But those guys are so amazing with player development. Their passion for connecting with these guys and helping them grow. And now it's this culture of work ethic has really become ingrained. Where a guy like Ryan, to be really honest, behind closed doors, it wasn't that long ago we sat with Ryan and said, hey, we think you can put more into this. He was really close with Quentin and Derrick, obviously came in their recruiting class, but was probably getting outworked by those guys a little bit. And we said, man, what do you want to really accomplish here? And he had some lofty goals. And we said, now you got to invest. And now he's doing it. He's preparing every day. He's playing at an unbelievable level, but the work that's gone into it is what makes it pretty special.
Looking back at that Auburn game with a young team, how much was that proof of concept that, hey, guys, there's going to be bumps in the road, there's going to be ups and downs, but at our best, we can be really good. Yeah,
midweek games are tricky because you're going to see quote-unquote upsets all year long, and you're going to see other, but at that point in the season with half our roster being new, a bunch of freshmen and sophomores out there, certainly it was a pretty good reminder that when we play our style of baseball, it really doesn't matter who's in the other dugout. We're going to have a chance to win. And it was. And I think our guys didn't realize it at the time, but winning 2 games at Jacksonville State was, and I could see it at the time. Their pitching staff, if you threw any set of Big 12 jerseys on that Jacksonville State pitching staff, you would think it was a Big 12 staff. They were really good. And we went out and did some good things. And what we've hearkened back to since that, what's so great about the start of the season is every guy, when the first pitch is thrown, believes they're good. They haven't failed, right? There's no batting average. They just know coach put me in the lineup. I'm a good player. I was recruited here. And you see these good, clear heads. You saw it with Duke last year. When we do that, we're really hard to stop. Then you experience a little bit of failure. In this sport, you have a lot of time to think. And all of a sudden, you're like, God, where was that guy a month ago? He's not a worse player, but his head's a little clouded. And so it gave us, when we started to struggle, that Oklahoma State weekend, for example, an opportunity to say, hey, look back 2 months ago. Are you a better player now? Yeah, Coach, I am. Then why are we failing more? It's because we're not trusting and believing who we are. We're not really committed to who we are. And so it set the table for when we did struggle, having that kind of look and we actually made a video and played it in practice at one point to just show some of those highlights to remind them, like, you get the heads clear, we're going to be just fine. And we haven't struggled too badly at any point this year, but we did start slowly in the conference play. And I think that week was a great tool to remind them that, hey, we're going to be just fine if we stick with it here.
What were some of those things you noticed that were kind of like the team straying away from your identity?
What you see is, occasionally guys that are consistently late on pitches. That tells me they're not connected to expecting to hit the ball hard somewhere. They're trying to discern if we should swing or not when you have 0.2 of a second instead of expecting to make hard contact. That leads you to be a little bit late. Maybe taking pitches that are down the heart of the plate. When you're in a good headspace, you're just expecting to get a mistake and you're always ready to drill it, where you start guessing a little bit. Pitchers that maybe consistently fallen behind in the count. We gave up a few too many home runs early in the season. Now we start to pitch a little more conservatively, maybe a couple defenders fielding on their heels, maybe not really selling out when we have to bunt, sticking our nose in, getting it down. You just cannot. I think that the weird, unique thing about baseball is how much time you have to think. Most of these guys tie themselves mostly to their offensive performance, right? And you want great defenders, but they don't worry as much about their fielding percentage as their batting average. And so you take an at-bat, and then you have typically probably 30 or so minutes before your next one, maybe 45, to just think about a result, right? And in basketball, you turn it over, you got to get your butt back and defend on the other end. And so trying to keep that headspace clear is so critical. And it's why you see guys not make the big leagues often until 26, 27, 28 years old. It's not because they're better athletes at 28. It's because it takes a long time to figure out how to process that.
Is there anything in specific that you changed in kind of your identity as a coach with this group? Because I know that everyone talks about Bischel Ball and ingraining the culture into the team. Is there anything that you've learned throughout this season? I know you mentioned that comment on being a little, I guess, easier, so to say, on the guys, but is there anything else that you've kind of learned and added to your repertoire?
Yeah, I think it was, again, the last 2 weeks, I think these guys needed to see a little bit more fire out of me. I think what I was viewing as kind of calm and reserved and showing them I trusted them may have come across as not indifference, but maybe a lack of confidence, maybe, I don't know, maybe some self-doubt. And I really tried to show them how much I believed in what we do and how much I believed in what they do over the last couple of weeks. I think, that's been a big difference. And maybe I should have done it a little early, but obviously we started the year really well. But just trying to feel out how to get them in a good headspace to play with real aggression and with real belief, but not try too hard. Just having testosterone in this sport isn't always the best thing. You can't just always try harder, but finding that belief, that's been kind of the challenge at times and it's tough because, you look at like Quentin Coates for a good chunk of the year here, leading the nation in home runs, and you forget even a guy like that, when you go through and you become almost a victim of your success, right? You're hitting a bomb every other game or every game for 3 weeks. And all of a sudden you go a weekend without one, and that little bit of self-doubt creeps in. And it's the first time he's been through this. He was a guy who snuck into the lineup late last year, and he did a great job, but it's different when you're the guy, right? And I might have forgotten a little bit that, Carrington last year, who probably was the most consistent player in the country, that's a fifth-year guy who had redshirted a year and started 4 full years and had played 200-some baseball games. We didn't have a ton of that. Jack is probably the one guy as a third-year guy that's done a lot of it, but still only second year in our program. And so guiding mentalities a little bit more, if that makes sense, without overcoaching. You can't just every at-bat, you can't, try to coach them up. You got to let them play a little bit too. So it's been a fun challenge because they work so hard. They're so engaged and they're talented. And quite frankly, they're good. And then the pitching side it's been interesting because we took some guys that were pretty good mid-major pitchers, Dylan Schuler, Adam Brower, Logan Knight, but the jump was challenging. Just the quality of hitter, quality of competition has been challenging. And so they almost had to get hit hard and have some failure before we could start to rebuild it. Now you're seeing it. Those guys are pitching really well. And it's cool to see a guy who probably people think are 22, 23. Maybe they've reached their peak at the college level. And right now they're pitching the best they have in their whole college careers, which is pretty cool to see.
Have you ever experienced anything like what you saw from Coates that first month?
I don't think so. I mean, there was a stretch early last year where you could not get Carrington out. It was pretty unbelievable, but it's a little different when everyone that's not an out goes over the fence. I mean, that was pretty unheard of. And we've never had teams that hit a ton of home runs. We've played previous stops at places that were not great hitters park. So I've never been a part of a team that launched a ton of balls out of the yard. So what he did is, now a couple other guys have kind of done it in recent weeks, so it's not unheard of, but in my experience, I've not seen a home run binge like that. Pretty incredible.
Oh, that was incredible. Coach, I like kind of that talk that you're going on with the question that Ryan was posing, but with so much added like advanced metrics and analytics and whatnot, how do you juggle between trying to figure out whether has the league figured out this guy in this situation? Are the analytics too much, or
yeah,
I just trust the process type word?
It is interesting. I mean, there were some situations this last week where just feel of the game and how it was going, without saying too much in case we've got imposters on the show here, but had nothing to do with analytics or pitch shapes or percentages. It was feel of the game and adjusting what we were going to do. And it was really Coach Petteruto led the charge there, but we made a big adjustment yesterday that really got us going in the right direction. It had nothing to do. It was just feel of the game. And Kyle jumped in and said, hey, we should really tell our hitters to do A, B, and C. And it made a massive difference. But then, yeah, there is value in knowing that, Taylor releases the ball 7 feet from home plate, average is about 6 feet. So the ball's coming out of his hand a foot closer to home plate than most pitchers. So his 94-mile-an-hour fastball is going to play like 96 or 7. It's pretty important. We let our hitters know that when we have that information. So you need to get them that. But if you get in the batter's box thinking about how many inches of horizontal break, what his release height is, and what his extension is, and not just is it a good pitch to hit, now you're going to be paralyzed. And so finding that balance, it's pretty tricky because there are hitters that will just say, don't tell me a word, I just want to hit. And it's like, I know you do, but this stuff will help you and so trying to get them process that before the game. And what we're trying to do with all that is put a good picture in their head. Like, what's that pitch going to look like? That just one clean, clear picture of what I'm trying to do with the baseball. And that's based on the pitcher's stuff. And is it a 2-seam? Is it a 4-seam? What is this? But then clear it all out and just go and commit to it. And that's a tough balance. And to your question, Ryan, what do you see that's different when you see that indecision? That's when they're trying to process all that a little too much instead of just playing baseball. And it's a tricky balance because if you don't use it, you're really shortchanging yourself. And if you think that a guy knowing the exact pitch shape is going to make him a great hitter, there's no chance. And then there's scouting report stuff. There's, when Enzo first got started, obviously there was nothing on him. And now teams have seen what he does well, what he does poorly. And so then you have to kind of readjust. We saw Logan Knight was just getting destroyed by left-handed hitters for 6 weeks, and we changed a pitch shape on a fastball to create a little bit more run away, and that's created more ground balls and less hard contact and really changed the game for him. So it's big, but if you don't stay a human being and just try to be a robot, it's going to be tough. There we go. What you got, Chase? We got a question for you, I think.
Chase, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite baseball player on the Bearcats team?
Oh,
Probably like Conlon.
okay.
Who's your favorite professional player?
Jacob Murphy.
Okay.
Jacob Marcy, who does he play for?
Marlin.
He's their center fielder. Who did he play for?
Central Michigan.
He was an outfielder for the Chippewas, and he debuted last year as the Marlins center fielder. So
now he's a stud. Yeah,
we got to go see him when they played the Guardians last year and had dinner with him, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, huh?
That's
awesome.
nice.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Coach, you talked about.
By the way,
ahead.
Chase is hitting 750.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
He's on a heater to start the year, and he's pitched an inning with 1 strikeout.
Okay.
Let's go.
Nice.
1 strikeout. Sheesh.
He tells me
You're going to be playing center field for the Marlins yourself soon if you keep that up.
Yeah, you're going to get out there. You'll be more like Shohei, though, pitching, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the start of the game, but then we had our game. But he tells me his strikeout came from throwing sidearm. Is that correct?
Oh,
Okay.
he was
I don't know where
siding.
that came
He's
from, but
changing the arm angle up. They're
That's
awesome.
Any more for these guys?
No.
No? All right.
All right.
just straight
Coach, you
gas
talked-
on the Chase. I love it. There you go.
You talked about finding your balance. It feels a little bit like you've gotten away from what became Bischel Ball over the course of the first 2 seasons and some of the bunt hits and stealing bases. It seems like, I don't know if the rest of the league has caught up to you or I joked with Coach Winsky on Thursday that Quentin Coates has made a competition. How many home runs is he going to have versus how many bunt hits you have as a team?
I think we still have like 17 more stolen bases than anybody else in the league, and people keep asking me why we're not stealing. It's we're still getting it done. It's interesting because at no point was my identity in my mind, our identity as an offense, a small ball or a bunt and steal team, it was, we need to be able to score in a lot of ways to beat you. You play in early March and it's 48 degrees and the wind's blowing in. If you're just going to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, it could be an uphill battle. That was the case yesterday. I mean, Jack hit a ball 106 to center field that 8 or 9 times out of 10 is a home run at our park. The wind was blowing in. It was a cooler day. We just wasn't going to go anywhere. And yesterday we had back-to-back bunts that produced a run. And flip side, we've played on some days at our park that were, it's been a really nice spring and the wind has blown out a little bit. And, I'm smart enough to know when you got Quentin and Jack and these guys driving the baseball, man, like, we're not going to take a lot of chances. When there's a pretty good chance, we're just going to hit it out of the yard. And that's always, we've just always talked about playing really aggressive and really fast and making us tough to defend and making us tough to get out. That has to do with good hitting approach. But I think personnel has played in a little bit. A guy like Landon Vitterick is just otherworldly speed. And he's one of those guys that you pitch out and he still might be safe. You got to use that weapon. And this year we've got some good speed, but we don't have one of those guys. So all of a sudden, he stole, I think, 39 bases last year. If your leader this year is 20, which is still a great number, you're going to be 20 lighter than last year. And the league they are working really, really hard to stop our running game. We see more pickoff attempts than any other team. What that's led to, I think we've had like 7 errors against us. Pickoff. I mean, usually a team in a year has 1 or 2 of those, right? We've had 7 balks called.
Balks, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and so now all of a sudden you string those together. That's like having 10 or 15 more stolen bases that don't show up in a box score. More important to that, when they think that Jackson Smith or Ryan Tyransky's taken off, what does a pitching coach call? A little bit more fastball. What does a pitcher do? He changes his time to the plate to rush a little bit. That makes life easier for the hitter. And so sometimes the threat of the stolen base is actually a lot more valuable than the actual stolen base. There have been times that we have no interest in stealing, whether it's the pitcher-catcher combination has a time that's hard to run on, whatever it may be. I'll go 20 pitches with all red light, but we'll see 12 pickoffs and a pitcher walk a guy on 4 pitches, and they have no idea. We have no interest in running here, but go ahead, keep trying to stop us. And that's a big part of it. Man, the pitcher's job more than anything is to get the hitter out. So if we can get them thinking about anything else, and then again, you get a third baseman playing 85 feet from home plate, you get a first baseman playing 85 feet from home plate. Does it always lead to another hit? No, but I think Christian Mitchell has 2 hits this year where he chopped it over a third baseman's head like that. It adds up. So it's just the pressure side of it. So I think, man, I would be a really dumb coach if I said we got guys like Quentin and Jack and we're just going to try to bunch it to death. Those guys are slow and they hit the ball a long ways. It seems like we should let them do that.
Well, Jack was bragging about he tried to lay one down against Baylor.
He did, and he almost had it. Quentin tried one, and it went about 6 inches of the catcher, and they threw the guy out at third. But you'll see it at times. Guys will even play in when they're hitting because they believe anybody in our lineup can do it, and they could if they had to. I just think it's the wrong play for them most of the time because of the threats there in the batter's box.
Part of the whole Bischel Ball allure as well to fans is how active your team is in the dugout and whatnot. At this point of the year, the monotony of the season wearing on and kind of the travel road, this, that, and the other. Is it part of your recruiting strategy to just bringing guys that are high energy like that, or do you have to change things up to kind of pull back from what could be just a long drawn out part of the year?
Yeah, we do want guys that absolutely love to play. I mean, when you see, Chase just mentioned Jacob Marcy. If you go back to our time at Central Michigan, he had 2 Division I offers, us in Eastern Michigan. I thought he was going to be a good player for us, but if you'd have told me his freshman, sophomore, he would play in the big leagues. I remember after his sophomore year saying to scouts, like, hey, you better start putting this guy on your radar. I think he might be a pro player. That's what I was telling people when he was 20 years old. At 24, he's a big leaguer. And go back and say, what was it about him? He's like Derrick, man. He loves to be on a baseball field. He loves to play. He loves it. And so, yeah, we want to look for that. And then that comes out in the energy. But to think every one of our guys is going to come around and be that team leader and cheerleader in the dugout. No, we've got to drag it out of people a little bit too. But if you ever sit at a baseball game that you're not actually invested in, you're just there to be a part of it. Quite frankly, it's boring. Not a whole lot happens. It's 3 hours of, one pitch, take 10 seconds off. If it's a ball, I mean, nothing happens for extended stretches. And now you become, whatever. Gavin Brewer, who's a great teammate and has done a few good things on the field, but doesn't play a whole lot. You do that game after game after game, it's pretty easy to lose your investment, right? And it's nothing against the kid. It's not basketball, it's not football, and you can't just sub somebody in to get them some reps. You're either in the game or you're out of the game. And so getting those guys just involved, engaged, and making sure they know that has value. That energy leads to confidence. It leads to wearing teams down. There's a reason for it. And beyond that, I talk so much about these guys. They put pressure on themselves. They try to do too much. I think that's always a good reminder we're playing a game. And if we can do that, like, I get it. If we stink, I lose a pretty awesome job. So we need to win. But if that's the messaging, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, baseball should be fun for these guys, and let's let them have some fun. And it stays away from the macho crap too, quite frankly. The tough guy stuff. I don't know where that gets you. It's not really you're not going to function well in life if you're upset about something. You just start screaming and hollering and dropping F-bombs on each other. And so I think it keeps us out of that kind of 21-year-old tough guy stuff that's probably natural for young guys.
Well, on the flip side of that coin, I mean, do you ever have to tell anybody to bring it back? I know there's been a couple different times this season where it seems both teams have gotten very emotional with one another.
Yeah.
And obviously, you had the situation with Derrick Pitts and getting tossed. There were certainly some things going on there, but I didn't know if you ever had to reel anybody back.
No, there is. Nate had an outing a couple of weeks ago where he was completely dominating Baylor, and after an inning wrapped, he kind of glared into their dugout and said a thing or two, and he knew it. He got in the dugout. I said, Nate, we just can't. And he says, I know, and I get it. They're really competitive, but when you go through life, to me, your emotional reaction can't always take control of you. Like, you got to be able to take a deep breath and not do the thing you want to do sometimes. And it's part of the learning process. But yeah, if you got 40 guys on your roster that are the right guys in terms of their competitiveness, they're going to push the envelope once in a while. If they don't, and Derrick does, but what's great about like Derrick and Nate, when I pull them aside and say, hey, that is just not going to be good enough. It's just not going to happen here. They don't argue with me. They don't roll their eyes. They say, I get it. It's my fault. And it gets adjusted. And it happens 2 or 3 times a year, but a lot of places it happens every game. And I'm not criticizing anybody specifically, but our guys do a really nice job of walking that line, of having a ton of energy, but not directing it at opponents or other people.
When you take this job, going into the Big 12, like you said earlier in the show, predicted last in the conference, I'm sure the vision is to be playing meaningful baseball in April and into May and hopefully June or whatever. But has this been so far where you thought the ladder would take you as you're going through year number 3?
For those that have known me for a long time, at times I've had the nickname Eeyore, so that'll give you a little bit of an insight as to how I feel at times. I tend not to, I tend not to oversell, and but I think keeping pretty grounded and not blowing out of the water expectations helps me just stay focused on what we're trying to do. But in all honesty, when I got the job, the fact that my initial contract had 6 years was actually pretty important to me, because I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I didn't sell us short. I didn't say we couldn't win right away, but I knew we wanted to build from the ground up. I knew we wanted to recruit a lot of high school players. I knew that, our standing in the Big 12 wasn't going to hold a candle to those teams that have been in it for a lot of years and had a lot of success. So I knew it was going to be difficult. But I also thought there was just tremendous upside. The city of Cincinnati, the campus itself, it was one of those jobs being at Central Michigan that I always thought, man, I didn't know much about the job, but you're seeing the success in football. You're seeing the success in basketball. You see the city and you're like, God, there's got to be something there where this thing could really go. And I really believe that. How long it would take, I tried not to put years in my mind because I didn't want to shortchange us, but in reality, had our first regional appearance been in year 4 or 5, I would have been thrilled with it. Like I thought it was going to be a challenging build, and really there's three huge layers of credit, and it starts with John. John Cunningham has decided he wants us to be competitive in baseball. We don't have blown out of the water crazy resources, but he also has decided, like, if you're going to use the resources we give you, we're going to keep throwing things at you to help you. He has been so hands-on with baseball, and I hear from him so frequently. That is just not that common for Power 4 ADs. I know what goes on out there, and it happens at some schools, but there are some schools where the AD just kind of brushes baseball to the side. And then Dr. Lucky, Joe Lucky, our sport admin, has been just a great conduit. So we've got that great support from that group. Then we got the right staff. Coach Winsky came with me. Coach Schrader came with me. I knew they were really good, but Coach Sheriff was this diamond in the rough pitching coach that has been tremendous. Kyle Petaruto is just an amazing assistant. And now we've got like the next wave of guys. Seth Logan, Hunter Jesse are helping out. They played for us in year one. They're helping these guys grow. And it's like an extension of the players. And Tyler Dellerman, who came on as a volunteer 2 years ago and is in his third year with us, like Adam Lucky, who's gone from the volunteer director ops to a full-time. Like, these guys are so valuable. They help drive this thing. And then obviously it's just the players. These guys are not going to shortchange themselves. They've just decided that, you know, whatever we're picked in the league or wherever our geography is or whatever our history is or however many banners, none of that matters. Like, just get better, just compete. And they've been so stinking bought in, not portaling out, not asking for more money, not worrying about themselves, just wanting to win games. It's been, and I don't want to get, we're only in year 3, and I think there's a lot more growth yet, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see. Like, if you would have told me year 3, you're going to feel okay about your season and you're going to be 20th in the RPI with 3 weeks to go, I just said, what is wrong with you? You should be thrilled. And here I am. I'm like, God, we got more in us. And it's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun. It's been really rewarding.
That's a good thing. Because like you said, 29 wins, you should feel like, okay, we're getting there. We're about to hit that 30. We're about to keep going. But I agree. It's what you've done is also get a lot of people fully engaged in Cincinnati baseball, and
that's been really fun to see. You can just tell there's more excitement, and maybe we can keep getting more fans out to the game. There's always more layers to it, but you can just, and John brings it up to me a lot. He says, you may not always see it, but the number of people that ask me about the baseball program compared to 3 years ago, it's just infinitely different. We started a group chat with our alumni, and they just keep jumping on now all of a sudden. And it's cool to see people getting enjoyment and taking pride in it like that. That does mean something.
What about you with Cincinnati? I imagine no midweek game. So, you call us a Seinfeld episode last time you were on here. So let's go Seinfeld for a second. Where are you going to eat if you do have that one?
I was on the treadmill today and actually watched Seinfeld. Katie hates it, so the only time I can watch it is when I'm on the treadmill. And it was the one where Jerry was dating the massage therapist and couldn't get a massage out of her, and it's pretty comical. But yeah, where we're going to eat. Last night we get home, nice series victory. Let's go out to eat as a family and celebrate. What do the kids pick? Panda Express.
Hey, all right. Wow.
Katie and I went to bed at about 9:15, and we both said our stomachs just hurt like crazy. So that's life. And they're listening in the other room right now thinking that is the absolute just epic dinner. Actually, Luke wasn't thrilled. He wanted to go out for steak, but the other two, we had steak tonight at home. Luke is our adult eater, but yeah, honestly, when we get just a little bit of downtime, trying to catch up with you guys is the spending time with the little guys. They're not little anymore, but spending time with those guys is pretty paramount. And I'll get a little time with them the next couple of days before we head out to Houston.
What part of town are you in?
We are in the Loveland Sycamore. We're a mile from the Silver Spring House. That's the best way I can explain it on Fields.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Silver Spring House, great chicken.
Yeah, we did go there a week or so ago. That is, we like going there. So they love.
Do they have all the windows up and everything?
Yeah, it was nice. We sat outside actually. It was funny. We were sitting outside and some. elderly gentleman takes a pretty bad spill off of the curb, and I don't mean to make light of it, but it looked a little scary at the time. Turns out he was fine. They got him seated, and not 2 minutes later, he's drilling a cigarette, and just it was the most unique thing, just the life-threatening experience followed by.
I didn't know Chad was at that restaurant with you. That's pretty interesting.
But
Sometimes
yeah,
you gotta
Silver
rip a heater.
Springhouse is good. Our kids are in the Sycamore district. It's awesome. They're getting a great experience there.
You ordered the BCJ burger, right?
I had the BCJ chicken sandwich. Actually, I did.
Yeah,
I think Katie will.
I've reached out to them to try to make this a thing with Silver Spring House.
I didn't even think of that at the time, and it's hard to believe because most days all I do think about is you guys.
It's us.
And
Well, probably
somehow
Tim.
that slipped my mind that day.
I'm sure Tim consumes a lot of your thoughts.
Yeah.
He said you gave him a hard time today on your phone call with him.
Who was I? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Tim. Adam.
Yeah. Well, Tim, he says to me, you got these decals on the helmet. I said, Tim, we've had those for 8 years. So and he said, well, you've only been here for 3. I said, that's true. So you picked right up on it. So Tim's awesome. He does a great job of covering us. And when we lose a couple asking the question he knows he shouldn't ask, but somebody wants to know the answer to. And no, he's great. It's people like him that are driving the excitement around the program. And it means a heck of a lot.
He won't let me pay him. No, he works for free. So he retired. Tim and I used to, I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I knew that.
We used to own the site together. He did football. I did basketball. Tim retired. And then when you came in, he said, I got a feeling about this guy. He said, it might have been indigestion. I don't know. It might have been indigestion. But he said, I got a feeling about this guy. I want to come back and cover baseball. I don't need to be paid. I just love the program, and I want to see them get the coverage that they deserved. So he declines payment, but he just does it legitimately for the love of the game.
That's awesome. He does. You can tell his passion for it. It's pretty cool. He makes sure to say hi to Katie and the kids every time you see. He's been awesome for us. He really is. And the more people that follow him, obviously, the better it is. But he's great.
It's awesome.
Anything else, guys? Anything else? Nope.
I mean, I'm down to go for another hour.
Yeah. You may be, but talk to Katie and see how she feels about it. So, she's probably already cussing me out in the other room. So
sorry, Katie.
Sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. It's not like we're gone for 11 days later in the week. So
yeah. Golly, I looked at that road trip. I was like, holy moly!
It just doesn't pay. Manhattan, Kansas is awful to get to. Flying sucks these days, and so it just doesn't pay to come. When we take a road trip, it's actually 4 full days. It's Thursday 6 a.m. to Sunday night at midnight, and it was like school's out. We did it last year. We went to Kansas. We actually swept them. We won a midweek against Oral Roberts, and then we went down to TCU and won a game. And I just think it's easier to just stay out there at that point. And with the cost of flights, it's no more expensive to have a couple more hotel nights.
Yeah, makes sense completely.
What do you got, Chase? Anything to wrap this thing up?
No.
Nothing? Not a Go Bearcats? No. All right. Well,
Go Bearcats.
How many days till we go to Disney World, Chase?
68.
You know what that makes tomorrow?
That matters. That's the countdown that matters.
What does that make tomorrow, Chase?
Oh,
6, 7. Hey.
Let it live on for the old man a little bit longer. All right, I appreciate it, guys. I better get these guys to bed and myself to bed.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good week.
Appreciate you, man.
You're the best,
Thanks, you
Coach.
too.
Best of luck.
Yep.
Wow, what a guy!
The GOAT.
The beast.
He is a beast. Just an absolute beast. Let's go ahead and timestamp that unbelievable. You know what? If you haven't hopped on the bandwagon yet, and it's not a bandwagon because it's the wagon that's going to be rolling for a long doggone time, hop on right now. I mean, it's so easy to watch the games these days, especially if you have ESPN Plus or the Hulu Sports package, YouTube TV. Just hop on. It's fun baseball to watch. A really, really good team too. So, golly, gotta love it. The legend.
Power, small ball,
speed,
defense,
excitement.
pitching.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that outfield is just it's a phenomenal defensive outfield, and then you've got Quentin Coates, who second in the country in home runs. I could go on and on. It's literally an exciting team. So, you know,
Fun baseball to watch.
I will be watching the weekend series at Houston. You can bet on that. That's my first of many the rest of the way. So let's go
Quick
ahead
Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
I did want to quickly mention if you plan on hopping on this road trip with the baseball team, 3 straight at Houston, then they've got a road trip at Oral Roberts for that Tuesday, and then they go to Manhattan, Kansas at Kansas State. Boy, oh boy, that is a long trip. So if you plan on hopping in the car and going and partaking in any of that, make sure you head over to Danco Transmission out of here before you go. Danco Joe will fix up and fine tune that car for you. Get you riding like a Mustang in that Toyota Corolla. But without further ado, you know,
Brent, before we start this next segment, I do want to let you know that gambling involves financial risk and should be treated as entertainment, not a way to make money. Only wager funds you can't afford to lose. No betting system guarantees profits. Participants must be of legal age, typically 21 and over. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Danco Transmission NotACare.com. Danco Joe.
Brent, we're worried about you, man.
You know,
All right.
Are we really diving into this topic? Like, are we going to talk about
the people are demanding that we talk about this topic.
Sure. Well, here we are. Brendan Sorsby seeking help and treatment and rehab for all the above. And yes, gambling is tough. It's easy to fall into some sort of trail of addiction with it, and you get help. You got to get if you got a problem, get some help, and good on them. And
have you ever bet balls and strikes during a game?
No. You know, there are ways to.
It is fun.
Baseball game exciting. Yes, it is very fun. Especially like in between innings, like you can bet the first pitch of the next inning is going to be a. But
like
ball, a strike, or an in play. Yes, Chad. I have
the sixth pitch of the fourth at bat of an inning you might need to call the number.
Chad, it's with the apps these days. It is so easy to just like click send, click send.
Yes.
Like and you have 10 seconds in between pitches. Like yes,
yeah. I think I see. Like me and my friends, we do that stuff. It's like fun. It's a fun way to go to the park, buy some beer, enjoy yourself. And then, like, if you were giving us fucking $1 million with that in college, and we're like, hey boys, let's go to Great American. I think that I think it's more about him getting caught for the
Indiana stuff.
Indiana thing. I think it's more of a cover on that, or he might have been caught with like a bookie or something, and he's trying to get ahead of it. But yeah, it does sound ridiculous, the betting at the stadium. I don't know if he was like losing all of his money or anything like that to the point where he didn't have any NIL money left. But
well,
yeah,
this all comes on the same day that his lawyer filed paperwork saying that everything about the $1 million was inadmissible for Ohio state law.
That was always going to be their stance.
Sure.
That Ohio state law deemed it illegal.
The timing on it was awful.
Here's what I will say on this from my perspective. There were never any rumblings of this. Like a lot of times you'll start to hear like, yo, like this is going on, or like if people genuinely knew, all of a sudden that stuff starts like spilling out and you catch wind of it. I never heard anything on Sorsby.
So are you saying the Texas Tech guy who says he has a reliable source that says that Cincinnati knew this was going on has maybe not such a reliable source.
I'm sure he has a reliable source, a source that he relies on, that told him that. I'm just saying, like, Ryan knows, like, if stuff like that is going on and people know, everybody starts talking.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do any, like, everything it said, he didn't do anything illegal outside of that IU thing, correct?
Well, I mean, he didn't turn 21 until recently.
Oh,
so
yeah, true.
all of his gambling technically was, pretty much all of his gambling was done illegally in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for the tech people. Yeah,
he just turned 21. 23.
No, he just turned 21.
Holy shit.
I feel like the tech people making these allegations, what would Cincinnati have to gain by exposing this if they knew? Like, let's say they're right, and Cincinnati knew about this, didn't disclose it while he was here, and then they disclosed it now as a got you to Brendan Sorsby or whatever. He was 21 in January 25. Okay. Well, a lot of this goes back to 2022, Jared. So he did a lot of gambling before he was 21, which was illegal, which was my point. What is UC gain?
They said he did it on an app.
Yeah.
So like
he would have had
the FanDuels. Yeah.
He would have had like his parents do it or a buddy do it that was 21.
Yeah.
And he used their account to gamble or whatever. I don't know. Like, we don't have enough of the story yet. But there is now an investigation. And guess what? The authorities are going to get involved in this. If Cincinnati turns him in, what do you think happens? They're going to investigate Cincinnati because he was gambling. Very clearly, I don't think he just stopped gambling. If they're talking about betting at Reds games and all this other stuff, like, he didn't stop gambling while he was at Cincinnati. If Cincinnati turned him in, they're just inviting the NCAA to come do an investigation at Cincinnati. That doesn't seem real fucking smart, does it?
No. Yeah, it's
I don't think he's going to be able to save his college career. He bet on Indiana while he was a football player at Indiana. That is subject to a lifetime ban. That's what happened to the quarterback at Iowa State a couple years ago. Is he got caught gambling? He was gambling on Iowa State games while he wasn't participating in those games. He was still gambling on Iowa State, and the precedent was set. And he got banned from college football. I don't see any way that this ends in anything other than the end of his college football career. I hate that because I like Sorsby, but
it was great.
You can't allow the precedent of this guy was gambling while he was on Indiana's roster on Indiana games. And the other thing, Brent, he was gambling on Indiana to win.
I know.
What are we doing, Brendan?
Yeah. especially in that 2022 season. Boy, that was before they became decent. That was right after the 2021, Royer. Oh shoot! Wait a minute. That 2022 season, did he bet on Indiana at Cincinnati to win that football game? Oh.
I don't think there's any. He's not. I don't think he was doing it. There's not gonna be any proof of him like throwing games for us. I think that's just people trying to pile on. I didn't realize how young he was, so that's definitely.
I guess by that he's 22 now, but still,
yeah.
That would have been a lot of gambling pre-18.
Yeah, I mean, but have they given out like any receipt on like when he was doing it?
I mean,
it could have all been last year.
It started in 2022.
Okay.
Or he was gambling in 2022 while he was at Indiana. He was gambling on Indiana football games during his redshirt season at Indiana.
Yeah.
So is
I
all
just-
this public knowledge? Like you
It's
can go.
it's what
and-
Pete Thamel reported.
right?
Yes.
No, no. I'm just saying, like, can you? I guess I don't know. I don't know when the like access into seeing what people have done, this, that, and the other. It's just as strange, but it's good for him if he truly does have a problem. It is good that he is seeking help and seeking,
Sure.
But it's a tough scenario too, because like Roy was saying, like, and this is how all my friends are too. It's like we just like gambling is like fun, like it's just like something to do to make like a mundane, Tuesday night baseball game have a little bit of extra alert to it. I don't know.
I agree, Brent. I don't think he was fucking checking his
Throwing
yards
games.
No way. He was not doing that. I would bet my freaking life on that he wasn't selling games in a Bearcats uniform. He's just, I mean, he gambled, no pun intended. He gambled with it. I mean, I bet you a lot of guys in college football, they've gambled on bullshit baseball games and they just don't get caught. So I don't know what caused the investigation of him. But yeah, he's, it's an unfortunate crashing halt for him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially because, like you said, Chad, I have no idea when, some sort of, decision will come out, whether or not it's like suspended indefinitely. He's the one that came out and said he took an indefinite leave from the team.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Texas Tech has taken the side that they fully support his decision and they're fully there to help out in any way possible. So it'll be interesting to see. Jerry McCarty, that is the low hanging fruit for sure. November unders were just, someone knew it was happening, and back-to-back years it did. But either way,
there's no way he was doing that.
I don't think so either. No doubt.
I get, people are butthurt still that he left. They're gonna take you open yourself up to that. When you do something controversial like he did and leaving and leaving the way he did and going to a conference rival, you pissed off a lot of people at Cincinnati. You add gambling scandal into it, your name is going to be dragged through the mud. That's part of the deal.
The Nebraska pick, I mean, that can look incriminating. That when he threw the ball to the defender, was that West Virginia or Pitt? I can't remember.
BYU.
Oh no, West Virginia game.
Yeah, he fumbled it up, trying to get it out of throw it out of bounds. He's got some plays on there that the people are gonna dunk on, I really.
Oh, believe me, there's some plays out there. Yep. Mm-hmm. You hit that live and you feel good about it until the game wears on. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, the West Virginia game at home not this past season, but the season before. Yep.
So if you think, let's say it all shakes out to this, he placed the bets while he's at IU. He doesn't place any bets up until he turns 21, and he's just betting on pro sports legally. Do you think that still lands him as suspended next year?
Look, if it's factual, this is going off of what Pete Thamel has reported. If it's factual, he bet on IU while he was a football player at IU. You have to end his collegiate career. You have to.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that again because I like Brendan. Brendan was always great to us. Had a good relationship with him. Mm-hmm. Was easy to talk to. He'd come off the field after practice. We'd joke around. I know him and Keegan got along really well. But you can't set the precedent that it's okay.
Yeah.
I know. Whether you played in the game or not, if you're on the team and you're betting on the team, you have knowledge. He bet on him to win. He didn't, but jokes aside, you have knowledge that you're not allowed to gamble with. And that in and of itself should put you in a situation where you can no longer play college sports. Like that's the line that cannot be crossed. Like I know they said they're allowed to bet on UFC. I learned that today. Because UFC is not a sanctioned NCAA sport. So I guess that falls in like a gray area of like, you don't know anybody. Like, I guess the thought process is if you play in college, you're going to know guys that are in the pros. You can get information from those people that are in the pros that would give you an edge. But like you could bet on like UFC and probably like horse racing or things that aren't sanctioned in college. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, if you are a college football player and you bet on the sport that you play, and even worse, you bet on the team that you play for, you are risking your entire eligibility, everything. And like, it's just it is a layer that can't be like exposed. You can't allow anyone to have precedent. Well, this guy did it and he got to still play.
Right.
Like you're opening Pandora's box. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
I think it's Jason. He brings up a good point here too. Ohio and Indiana gambling police are going to investigate him and his family. There's no telling if he had multiple accounts or used VPNs, and that's something you have to be wary of as well. Like, just because you found one account doesn't mean that was it.
Yeah, Hunter Deckers is the Iowa State kid, right? Like that's the quarterback for Iowa State.
Yeah,
he got found doing something similar. He was betting on Iowa State games that he did not play in. Right. He was betting on Iowa State games, and he was eventually ineligible to participate in college sports, like a lifetime ban. It is what has to happen.
Right.
It has to happen.
And the fact is, like, gambling is starting to get to the level where it's as, familiar out there as like drinking when you turn the age of 21. It's starting to just become a part of, like, if you want to do it, if you want to smoke cigs at the age of 18, you have the ability to go do it. But I do think that the main red flag and red card itself is the Indiana thing. And if any more comes out like that, betting on college sports at all, or college football in particular, then obviously that's got to be where the line is drawn. So kind of voicing further what you're saying, Chad, I don't know. It is opening up Pandora's box, because I guarantee you, look at how many players there are on football programs across the country. And it's just like how common sports gambling is, and how like simple and
go ask a 21-year-old male. He's betting on an app.
Right. There's no doubt.
Like, if he has any interest in sports, he's got an account and he's placing some bets.
Even if it's a measly $5 bet on this, that, and the other, like everyone. Right. And so it will be interesting to see kind of the fallout of this, because the Deckers thing and the whole Iowa State thing did kind of create some waves, some ripples, and then you had the whole point shaving scandal in college basketball this past year, which was kind of all smaller schools and no bigger names, player wise were brought up in that one. I mean, this is the first one where it's like, okay, number one quarterback in the transfer portal, a projected, first round draft pick into the NFL, and obviously a direct tie to Cincinnati. So
it will be interesting to see. Like, the supplemental draft is this summer.
Yeah. Right.
And does he pull out of college and put his name in the supplemental draft? Essentially, if you go into the supplemental draft, whatever round of the supplemental draft a team takes you in, they have to forfeit that pick, that round pick in the next NFL draft. If that happens, like, I almost think if you're him, you have to take it to get out in front of this thing.
Yeah.
I can't see how he plays college football again.
Yeah. I don't know if like getting ahead of it the way that they have, or how calling
No, that's only if you go to Alabama.
Right. I mean, if anything, after the Hoosiers won the national championship, they might call him the Indiana transfer. So maybe that's the move. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
He bet on Indiana to win in 2022. Not even Tom Allen was betting for the Hoosiers to win after his son Micah McFadden left for the NFL.
Yeah, that's further truth there. I don't know.
That's a great night of callbacks. I love it.
It is. Good on him seeking help and whatnot, and obviously it's extremely
I hope he gets
early.
Help.
Yeah, and it's extremely early with regards to what is the next step and what this, that, and the other. But I tell you what if I think about it, if Cincinnati somehow got together the funds to keep Brendan Sorsby in the red and black, and we are heading into next year, and all of a sudden this news drops on a Monday. Boy.
The NFL has previously penalized college players and coaches for issues that occurred in college. Not sure he can escape this going to the NFL. Josh, if there's a front office in the NFL that thinks Brendan Sorsby can win them games playing quarterback, it might affect the round he goes in. It might affect the aesthetics of how it happens. But if there's a team that thinks he can be a all-pro or Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, he's going to get a shot.
Yeah. And that's all we can ask for is, hopefully it's figured out for him. Should we just talk, anything more on Sorsby? Like you said, Chad, and he was a joy to just see on the team. He really was. I mean, he had a good personality. He had some really great moments on the field as well. So,
sometimes might have been a little too worried about how his hat looked on the sidelines. But.
Yeah, that is the running thing as well. But I don't know. Anything more on Sorsby himself?
Yeah, there's like I don't know, there's like 40 more people in here than the last time I did this, but just for a reminder, the gambling involves financial risk and should be treated as entertainment, not a way to make money. Only wager funds you can't afford to lose. No betting system guarantees profits. Participants must be of legal age, typically 21 and older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Boom. Beautiful. Well, let's just keep on NFL real fast. Players drafted, Bearcats in the NFL, if you will. Surprises, thoughts. Obviously, Gold A, second round. Shouts. A couple more in the fifth round. Ryan's cousin going up to his favorite team, the Brownies. That's pretty cool. Joe Royer to the Browns.
You have to immediately get a jersey, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Just like Jeff Howell has to immediately go out and get a Howell Bengals jersey. I assume that Ryan Royer has
probably
to
his cousin too.
Yeah, definitely. Cassius Howell is definitely Jeff Howell's cousin.
I think so.
I agree. Harrow, I agree. I am addicted to fun as well. Yeah, good way to close up that part of the BBP. But yeah, Cyrus Allen. Obviously, a lot of people making waves. He was a big sleeper. In the draft, obviously didn't get a combine invite, but still went in the fifth round to the Chiefs. And then seventh round, gotta love seeing this. Gavin Gerhardt, the multiple time captain of your Cincinnati Bearcats, getting himself a seventh round pick by the Minnesota Vikings. I guess, guys, thoughts on the draft itself? Surprised with certain names not being called, surprised with certain names that did get drafted. Just, I guess, overall thoughts as the yet again more Bearcats being drafted into the NFL.
I think Cyrus Allen is going to be an outstanding fit with Patrick Mahomes. I know Bengals fans aren't going to love that, but I think him kind of moving all over the field, a great route runner to get open and allow Mahomes to get him the ball. I think he's going to be great. And Aaron and I talked about this last night. Probably no one I'm happier to see in the 20 years I've been doing this that kind of jumped up and grabbed a draft spot that we weren't expected than Gavin Gerhardt.
Yep.
You want to talk about Mr. Bearcat? We're speaking to a Mr. Bearcat right there.
Yep.
Gavin Gerhardt, Mr. Bearcat. Like that guy
Chad.
legitimately bled red and black. There you go.
You guys, hey, if you get that catty corner going, man, that would be nice.
Legitimately bled red and black, like gave everything for the university. I don't remember seeing him mock draft as a pick at all. Anywhere.
Well,
And to see him jump up in the 7th round and get that spot, like incredible.
He didn't get invited.
I agree.
Yeah, no combine, like nothing.
Right.
Like he worked his ass off and he earned it, and he found a team that valued it. And I think genuinely as a center, whether it be eventually becoming a starter or a backup that can play center and guard, with his ability to be a team guy and everything that Gavin's about, he's got a chance to stick in the NFL for a while.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And also, I kudos to him too. We talked in the off season, both Nico and Coach Carvel both mentioned how Gavin sought some guidance on what he needs to do to raise his stock on the NFL draft sites, and it was add weight, add strength, and he boosted his weight up above that 305 threshold, and he held that throughout the season and put together a great year. And now there you go, the Vikings, man. Golly, do you think at some point the Vikings are going to start all 3 Bearcats at the linebacker position?
It'd be pretty sweet.
Would not mind it.
Can you believe Eric Wilson is still in the NFL?
No,
It's insane. It's awesome. It is awesome.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is. It is. Royer, you used to play with some of these guys that heard their name drafted and some that did not get drafted. I guess thoughts after more Bearcats head to the next step.
Yeah, it's a good sign. It just shows that we took some steps in the right direction this year, and guys were developed well. I think Coach Nico's done a great job of keeping guys healthy, keeping guys strong, fast, athletic, and we had a really solid team this year, even though that record kind of fell off. And when you have players that have been around college football, they've produced well and produced over multiple seasons sometimes for guys like that we've had at Cincinnati, that's going to stick. NFL teams, they know, I think they know what they're getting out of Cincinnati football players, even though you have a new coaching staff. I think Coach Nico has really kind of bridged the culture from staff to staff really well. The type of school Cincinnati is and the type of city, I think it's pretty known what you're going to get if you're an NFL GM, if you're a scout. Cincinnati guys, they're tough. They love their teammates. They love to work. And that's what it takes to succeed in the NFL, man, because everybody's good. It's all about how can we win a couple more inches on this play, in this scheme, in this prep during the week. And that's the type of things that Cincinnati players can really help in the NFL. And that's why you see a lot of guys, they stick around too. And now each year you're seeing more and more production too from guys who are doing their time, establishing themselves on their rosters and really showing that they're really good football players. So happy to see another 4 guy. 4 was more than I thought. So I wasn't expecting 4, but I was pleasantly surprised because everyone that got drafted, everyone that got signed, all great guys, great football players, and I think they're always going to have a shot in the league because they're a Bearcat.
Obviously,
crazy.
Go ahead.
Just crazy that 4 NFL roster spots for the Minnesota Vikings are held currently by Cincinnati Bearcats. You got 3 with the Chiefs. Just funny to see coaches collecting Bearcats at this point. I don't even know how many are currently with the Browns. Is Ford still there?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's not. So it's
Joe.
just Joe.
Just
because
Joe.
Hudson and Ford are gone now.
Ford is on the Commanders. There we go. Jerome Ford. Obviously, Dante Corleone. We hope that a team gets out there, picks him up. Obviously a tough past couple years for Dante, just certain health things here and there. On top of that, let's see. I did like obviously Cyrus going to the Chiefs, but then of course they take another stab to see if Caldwell can get some sort of fun connection there. Shoot, that's a guy that obviously jumped off the page, and there were some high level NFL people that were like, let's hope that he can land in a perfect situation with a good quarterback and a good, offensive scheme. And I think the Chiefs are pretty decent in both of those avenues. So shouts there. Anything further on drafting and whatnot, or
the Bengals get a Bearcat. I mean,
there we go.
When was the last time that happened? It's outside, of course, Brian Cook now with the Bengals as well. But
yes, it happened like 2 months ago.
Well, I mean, we're just not used to it around these parts, okay? But Jack Dingle getting a shot with the Bengals as well. Obviously, I would imagine that's probably a dream come true for him after having grown up in this area.
They're going to regret not taking Cyrus Allen.
I think they'll regret not taking Golday in the second round, but
yeah,
they took a wide receiver in that round. My point being, they're going to regret not taking Cyrus Allen instead.
Well, at least we get to watch them, and when they do that little Sunday night football, hopefully it's Cyrus Allen, University of Cincinnati. That'd be fun. All right,
be great.
Well, let's go ahead and timestamp this one. Sorry, Ryan. I don't think we're going to riff this week. We're already pretty knee deep into the show. Is the mailbag plentiful? I think it is. Yeah, it is.
Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom. Before we fully mailbag, Aaron, just real quick, the only addition since the last BBP was Tylen Riley, electric lead guard from Tulsa. Loved the game that he has. Chad and Keegan had an in-depth one on that after the commitment. And then Dave and Chad further addressed it on the BCJ pod last week. So go back and listen to both of those, if you will. Aaron, Ryan, anything on your thoughts on old Tylen Riley before we hop in this mailbag?
Go ahead, Ryan.
He's got some good averaging, filling up the bucket, so gonna need that to translate.
Yes, you will. The free throws that I mentioned to you, Aaron, did you go back and watch every single free throw that he attempted throughout the year? And
233?
More and more excited after each one happened? Were you like, oh, yes.
I mean, the fact that he made 204, which is more than what Jizzle James and Day attempted this season, and more than Jizzle attempted in 2 seasons, it speaks volumes, literally. The guy drives and gets free throws. I think Calhoun's putting together what looks like a pretty good offensive team. I'm still concerned about rebounds. We still need another big, but I'm intrigued with what the roster looks like.
There's no doubt about that. Riley's he's a stud. Definitely had some big time moments. Chad, I thought you and Keegan and Dave did a good job kind of rehashing that, but it's a guy that likes to get downhill, a guy that loves to drive to the basket, a guy that can draw fouls, and a guy that knows how to find the open man. His assist numbers are high, and a lot of the passes are good passes right into the shooting stroke needed. So shouts to that big addition. Quickly, I guess, anything further on the portal, the whole 5 for 5 thing, big news about that today, that obviously they said that it looks like it's heading in the right direction, but that they don't want to implement it for this past season's seniors and instead for the next year. But I'm sure that would lead to a lot of people saying, "What? That's unfair." And
Life's unfair.
and then obviously we run into the whole waiver thing again. And
Ask Kelvin Sampson what he thinks about rules changing and whether or not you carry that burden many, many years after the rules are the rules when you were there, and if the rules change, the rules change.
Yep, I agree.
It's got the cutoff point has got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Blame your parents. Should have waited a year or two for the sex.
There we go. Or hell, maybe just like 6 months. It would have been fine.
Whatever.
Yeah. I think the only name that you mentioned big, Aaron, the name floating out there that hasn't committed yet, that has the ties to Cincinnati, Jaden Hastings, the former Boston College big man. I don't know if there's any update on that other than
there's not
what's already been out there. So
there is very, very little on Jaden Hastings floating around college basketball right now. It seems like it's UC and Texas Tech. I was told there could be a decision as early as Thursday of last week. I checked again today. No decision had been made as of just prior to this show.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
There's really nothing.
Nothing. And the other crazy thing is the early entrance number is like way down into the NBA. So shouts to NIL figuring out how to keep good players in college basketball and college sports in general longer. So welcome to this era of college sports. But Aaron, you ready to go ahead and hop in that mailbag?
Yeah, can't wait.
Oh wow, I love that excitement out of you on a Monday night.
It's a great deal of enthusiasm, Aaron.
Unbelievable.
All right, we'll start in the NFL, in the football portion of the mailbag, as we always do. What recent football player would Bischel add to his roster if he could? Obviously, Bischel not here, but the way he spoke about him, I gotta think it'd probably be. I was thinking the other way around. I was thinking DP would play football because of the way he talked about him. I got nothing.
Oh, you got nothing.
I was totally prepared to answer that question with DP, and then
this is the problem with the portal.
Yeah.
So we don't know a lot about these kids coming out of high school.
Right.
So we don't know who the potential baseball players are.
I mean, if it was like last year, I would put a heavy wager on a certain quarterback being added on to that used to play baseball being added on to Bischel's roster. I would have bet the house on it too, and probably won that bet. But as far as this year goes,
I don't know. Maybe I'll go Brooks Goodman.
Kyle Bolden.
Okay, Bolden.
Hell of a catcher for the Coleraine Cardinals back in the day.
Yeah, maybe just some speed as a pinch runner. So whoever the fastest football player is right now, I'll go with him.
All right. If you had to bet your own money on one player from the most recent Bearcats draft class still being in the NFL 6 years from now, who would you pick, and which draftee do you think ultimately has the biggest impact at the NFL level? P.S. I posted this question before the Sorsby news. Aaron, please read the gambling disclaimer. We've done it twice. I think we've played that joke out, but good callback.
The only thing, I would say Golday is obviously the easy choice.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about with him is he's gotten dinged up in each of the past 2 college seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's you're playing a lot more games in the NFL. Your body has to go through a lot more bumps and bruises, jumping up a level. So the good news is it wasn't ever anything like like major injury wise, but he did like come out of every season beat up a little bit. So Golday is the easy answer. I mean, I like I said, I think Cyrus Allen is in a great situation for him over his first couple years in the NFL. So that would be my 1A and 1B for this class.
Yeah, I think I mean Golday obviously is the low hanging fruit, but I think his ability to also help out in special teams, any special team unit would be valuable as well if you know he sticks somewhere somehow as and especially being young to the linebacker room. He has the ability to go off the edge, obviously needed as well. He has that pedigree, but low-hanging fruit there, and we'll have the ultimate. Yeah, I'm on it with you.
And it's tough. There's only 4,
right? There's only
and 2
4.
of them were late picks. Like those are hard guys to project having great longevity.
Why not Gavin? You know, you didn't expect Gavin to be a center and play as start as many games that you see that he ended up doing. So
it's just an uphill. It's an uphill climb.
Yeah.
Being a 7th rounder, that's all.
I agree.
All right. If Sorsby had entered the draft, 5 Bearcats would have been drafted with 4, maybe more, undrafted free agents. Surprised or not?
I think the number we were asked in the preseason was 4.5, and we were all kind of right on that cut line. So not and Dante didn't get drafted. But Sorsby didn't enter the draft, and he transferred. So I don't know how you can include him in this. But no, not surprised. It was right around kind of the number we were expecting. And Sorsby didn't go to the draft, so that dropped it down. But I think Cyrus kind of filled in a spot there, and then Gavin jumping up late and kind of surprising everybody to make it. I think they were tied for 2nd in the Big 12 with number of guys drafted.
Yeah, I think the big surprise obviously being Dante. I was also a little surprised that Caldwell didn't get just some sort of a team out there just looking at those metrics and just being like, okay, hold on, let's just bring this guy and see what we can do instead, let it roll with the undrafted free agent route. I'd say those are the only 2 surprises that didn't get drafted. I was surprised Gavin got drafted. I think we've kind of all already noted that, but it's easy to see how a team fell in love with him and said we want him and use a 7th round pick on him and bring him in and see what can happen. So definitely not fully surprised, but a couple of interesting.
Could not be happier with Bearcat undrafted free agents. Which one has the best opportunity to stick? We pretty much did that one already.
Aaron, what do you think though? Does Dingle have a chance to stick with the Bengals? You're the Bengals guy with your Tuesday night George in the jungle.
It's hard to say. I mean, there's certainly a chance, especially since if he can land with special teams, and their depth at linebacker is probably the weakest spot on the roster as it currently stands. But I don't know. His lateral movement worries me. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know that you keep a guy strictly.
I could see him sticking around on a practice squad.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
I can't see him making the roster, at least early.
He'd have to wow in preseason.
I think Caldwell sticks. I mean, could you? Obviously, we didn't get a good look at his strength playing and play out. But can you imagine that he's just a big, strong, fast human being?
Just worry about his love for football. It just seemed like a guy that it was so natural. He's so gifted,
right?
I just don't know that the grind is there.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver's been a glaring need for the Chiefs now for a couple of years, so we'll see. But will the Brendan Sorsby situation potentially have any backlash against UC as a program?
I don't believe so.
As of now, I think they're free and clear.
I don't know what the backlash is. Like, I mean, I guess the backlash, what? He rendered himself ineligible at Indiana in 2002 by gambling on football games. So any games he played after that have to be forfeited or whatever, some dumb shit that the NCAA does. But would anybody care if the last 2 years, like, you had to vacate wins? Who cares? They didn't win anything. So I don't know, I don't think there would be in the Iowa and Iowa State situations that this came up. The schools didn't get anything. Everything was directly to the players. So I don't think there's anything that could attach itself to UC. But like I said, what if they vacate wins? Is anybody really going to bat an eyelash at vacating wins the past 2 seasons? Who cares?
I agree. Not that much to lose.
What is your best starting 11 for offense using 2 players from D'Antonio, Kelly, Jones, Tommy Tuberville, Fickle, and Satterfield? You can either pick a 12th player or reduce one coach's players by 1.
Oh, kind of fun.
Offense.
Let's start at quarterback. Yeah, just offense. So quarterback, which one? You get Tony Pike from the Brian Kelly era?
I'm going Dez.
Pike, Caleros, Dez. I mean, technically, Gino played for a year for D'Antonio, so Gino counts.
Ben
Mock from BK. But here's the problem. Like, here's where you have to get strategic a little bit.
Offensive line.
Offensive line 1. D'Antonio, how many offensive players are you picking? So does it maybe help you to go? Because look, for Fick, like, we're taking Alec for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we're taking Alec Pierce.
Alec, Marty, Chris Moore.
Yeah. And that's Tuberville, Kelly, Fickle.
Yeah.
Offensive line would be the hardest for sure.
Yeah.
And Kelsey, you're going to take
Jason. Yeah.
So
Hudson,
you would would you give that to Butch? Like, some of these guys crossed over multiple coaches.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Butch would be Jason Kelsey.
Lincoln Bach.
Selleck from D'Antonio
probably in there.
Yeah,
okay,
Brett
you're
Selleck
taking Selleck over
end.
Travis?
No, we're gonna go 2 tight end, 12 formation with
if you have
also 3 wide receivers.
You just took 3 wide receivers. Running back is a tough one. Pete, Jerome Ford,
the truck,
Mike Warren,
Corey Kiner. To use a Satterfield.
Do you take Cyrus Allen for having a record-setting 13 touchdowns this year as your slot receiver?
Sure. I'd probably do
Tion Green, another one.
All-American, Evan Tankestall.
Give that one to Sat, yeah.
Better.
To Sat. At guard. Wow, that's a fascinating question. Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think thick era, you have to go Alec. Then you got to go. Why not Alec and James Hudson?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Although Royer's going to protest because there's no Dez in that.
I think you got to go Dez.
He did never lose a game at Nippert Stadium.
That's true.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Like in 4 years. And it wasn't like he started like a year and a half. He started 4 years.
He also won at Notre Dame Stadium, and like going back and watching that game again, like that was a very like Des had a like he didn't eye pop
excellent
stats,
game.
but he
An
had a
excellent
great game. Oh yeah.
You can say it, Brent. You know, had a great game that day. Mike Denbrock had a great game that day.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He did.
Would you take Luke Kandra as your other guard?
I mean, that would give you your
two from Satterfield,
2 from Satterfield.
Kandra and Tangasol. Yeah. Kelsey at center. One tackle is
Lincolnbach and Hudson.
Lincolnbach and Hudson. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We're killing it. Isaiah Peed then from Butch Jones.
So you've got
with Jason Kelsey.
So you're not taking Travis. You're taking Selleck.
Well, Travis, you could technically do Tuberville, right?
No.
Was that last?
He was BK into Butch.
Okay, yeah, he was, yeah. Damn. Yeah.
That's where it gets a little dicey. Is trying to like do the math on who you're taking from where.
We could make a whole episode out of this in like July.
Yeah. Ask us again in like a month. PDT.
We'll do offense and defense
Yeah.
in July. We'll have a whole segment on it.
I know this is coming from last week where we took one of each.
Yeah.
From the last 5 coaches. So I like the theory.
All right. Well, we'll keep it moving all the same, but I think we should revisit because I think it's fascinating, and Brent could actually print out his spreadsheets and try and do it accordingly.
Yeah,
for his mock draft.
All
right. That ends the football portion of the mailbag. We'll move on to the basketball portion. Did Sorsby sign a contract with UC?
Yes.
Or was his agreement with the? Oh, I'm sorry. This was in the basketball portion, and I moved it into the football. Did Sorsby sign a contract with UC, or was his agreement with the university verbal? Is he being sued for breach of contract? If Sorsby loses his NCAA eligibility due to sports betting, would the lawsuit still have merit, or would the issue become moot? If Sorsby is determined to have wagered on,
I don't know. Paper Chase. I don't know. We're not lawyers. I don't know. Did he sign a contract with UC? Yes. On the other stuff, I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Follow Justin Williams. He's an expert on sports law these days.
Oh, man. I think Ross Dellinger actually wrote an article about this. Our guy.
I'm sure
Ross.
we'll get to it on the nightcap tomorrow night, Aaron, as more stuff comes out.
It always does.
Yeah.
Now on to the basketball portion of the mailbag. As it stands right now, would you classify the national portal entries as the weakest overall group of players yet? This year seems a little shallow.
Yes. Guys are staying with their own teams, and there's not COVID year guys or guys that have, manipulated the system to get extra years for junior college or medical red shirts we knew this was probably going to be the shallowest crop of transfer portal players yet. And that has absolutely played out. Like if you go look around the Big 12, there's some meat on the bone at the top. Boy, as you get into the middle and the bottom, like these rosters look shaky. Now there's, a long way between now and September when, rosters will be finally set. But it was not a great portal class. We knew that going in, and that played out.
Yeah. Is it odd considering like 60% of college basketball was in the portal that everyone is investing their money initially on retaining guys and then the guys at the top of their roster.
Well,
And
yeah,
then-
that's what's happening. Guys at the top of their roster got retained, and everybody else got told, hit the showers, boys.
It's crazy.
The purge. I'm wondering, Aaron, it'll be interesting if teams start purging less of the middle to bottom of their roster going forward, because they have discovered backfilling those spots. Like, I'm wondering how many teams are out there thinking we probably would have been better off keeping 6 through 8, or the bench portion or the rotational portion of our roster intact, and trying to continue to develop them, than trying to go out and find somebody to replace them.
Well, and I wonder how much of those guys are wondering, did I mess up going into the portal because I wanted this much money? I was asking for this much money, and I ended up not getting anywhere near that money because I wasn't a top of the roster guy. Like, it's just ebbs and flows with this whole thing that we're still all learning about how this all goes. It seems strange this year.
It is fascinating, and now we're starting to see the foreign rush of players starting to commit places over the last couple days. So it'll be interesting, because it seems like there's a lot of teams out there that still have a lot of roster spots to fill. And you look at the ranked top 100, top 200 ranked players in the portal, and it's like, oh gosh, it's dwindling pretty quickly. So,
and oh gosh, there's not a lot of these guys in the top 100 that are actually really good.
Right. Yeah. Or like legit big men. It's like, and we really badly need big men. So that's it.
All right. With the pool of P5 level bigs continuing to shrink, is it fair to say the staff may start shifting more attention toward overseas options? I know the 5-for-5 waiver is still possible, but it still feels unlikely at this point.
Yeah, that there's nothing left. Like, they're hanging on to this Hastings thing because there's nowhere to pivot. There's nowhere to, like, oh, we're gonna shoot in this direction instead. So yeah, the next step is the spring summer international market. If you can find somebody, I know people got excited when Charlie Baker said they were going to try to push this through. He clearly spoke out of turn and backtracked that today. That was my understanding from talking to people around the sport, was everybody agreed that, like, we can't just all of a sudden in the summer throw all of these fifth-year guys back into the pool when everybody has spent their money and built their roster, and that is not wanted within the sport unless you're a coach that missed on his roster and desperately need new options. But I would not count on 5-for-5. Those guys that had 4 years of eligibility and are gone now, exhausted their 4 years of eligibility, I would not count on them coming back into the pool of available players. So if you need one, you're going to have to find one somewhere.
All right. With the current 5-for-5 rule about to be passed, what's next in fixing the NCAA? It has to be the transfer portal, right? Can that even be fixed? Maybe putting a limit on how many times a player can transfer?
The problem is, it would have to be something congressional to fix that, because it is illegal to restrict movement in the labor force. You cannot say you transferred once, but now on your second transfer, there are penalties. Like, that's not how labor works. So I don't think that would hold up in court if you tried to fix the transfer portal by restricting the number of transfers. I think that would go to court and it would lose, and we'd be right back to where we started. So unless there's legislation that passes, or there's collective bargaining, that in the collective bargaining they agree you get 1 or 2 transfers, and after that there's some kind of penalty, but I don't think legally you can restrict that unless it's something that goes the SCORE Act or whatever goes through Congress, or we get collective bargaining, which, you know, Aaron and I have talked about collective bargaining for years. The problem is we've gotten to the point now where the players have no incentive to collectively bargain. None. If you see what happened during this basketball portal, there is zero, absolutely fucking zero incentive for the players to want collective bargaining. None.
At least those at the top of the chain.
That's generally where the rules get made.
All right, let's jump ahead to next April. While you guys are on the show recapping the first season of Jared Calhoun, which player do you think you'll say was the glue of the team? My answer, Miles Colvin, says Bearcat 101.
I'm a Travion Carson truther.
Yeah.
I think we're going to look back when we get to next April and we're going to go, damn, that was a hell of an addition.
Yeah. Glue of the entire team. Yeah. I mean, Carson, obviously, you know, whether he starts or he's the first guard off the bench, it's a guy that has to perform, and he's going to affect the game in multiple ways. So that would be ideal for him to be the glue. You know, I think that just little tape that I've seen, but I mean, Eric Mahaffey, it just seems like he's kind of got a lot to his game. And when I say glue,
there's a lot of jack of all trades to this.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole roster. Yeah. There kind of is. And
I think those are the two options, though. Looking at the roster as it's currently constructed, I don't know that anybody else could be your glue guy outside of those two, outside of Travion Carson and Eric Mahaffey.
Well, yeah, Colvin's a guy that can score, can rebound, can shoot, can defend, can do a little bit of everything. So I get the Colvin thing, but I also think Colvin's being brought in as kind of a top of the roster guy. So I'm not going to be surprised if he, you know, ends up being the glue.
That's why it's pending. Like, if somehow that, you know, they do bring in like a big scoring wing or guard, then all of a sudden it does become Colvin being that guy that's a little bit more glue like. But
yeah,
as it currently stands, I think that, you know, those two probably.
Leading scorer predictions as the roster stands currently.
Tylen Riley.
Yep, Tylen Riley.
I think Tejada will be
second
up there.
Tejada would be number 2, I think.
As things currently stand, let's not discount Riley Allen's back. Like, there's not another big on the roster. He's going to play a lot of minutes.
You're playing 33 minutes a game right off the bat.
He is definitely an offensive-minded center.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to get some points.
Which could that end up meaning Elamine ends up being your glue guy?
I think it's still, as young as he is and as thin as he is, I think there's still going to be some growing pains as he adjusts to the conference, at least early.
I was just playing contrarian to myself.
I know. I'm just like, I think there's reasons why I don't have him at the top of that like glue guy list.
All right. How much do the leading international transfers make compared to the top of the American market in peak portal season? My perception has been that a lot of these guys need more than
the difference.
I'm sorry, more than a season to adapt to college basketball, and it makes me wonder how much of an investment it is worth making in international players. Also, any idea what's left in UC's coffers for the remaining portal/international prospects?
No, they're never going to let that information out. So there's a lot of people that have guesses, but nobody really is going to give you the legitimate answer to that, because they don't want that used against them in negotiations. Either these guys are shorting you because they're running out of money, or these guys can overpay. They don't want you to know that those guys can overpay you. Like there's no benefit to those things being public. The international thing is different because it's not peak portal season. Like that is a different pool. We're starting to see some names come off of that list now that the portal has slowed down, but this is more post-portal that you see the international guys. And guess what? You're getting a lot of teams that missed on a lot of their targets. So they're going to have to go overpay in the international market to keep those guys away and build teams. So the money ends up being about, here's the other thing that's important to note. Most of these agents that are representing the international guys are American. They know what the going rate for a point guard is. They know what the going rate for a big man is. Like, if you were strictly dealing with overseas agents that weren't dialed into what's happening in the portal on American soil, maybe there would be some variation there. But for the most part, these agents know this is what these positions are getting. This is where my guy fits. This is the type of money that I'm looking for. This is a generalization, but from my experience in covering these things, the international guys might have better agents than the American guys. Because I think a lot of the American guys are using
family members,
guys that aren't really qualified to be agents. Guys that aren't that they should not be allowed to be doing this.
Well,
most of the international guys I'm aware of have like legitimate bona fide agents that are representing real players. So
because they're going from like
professional,
pretty much playing a professional.
Yeah, they're playing professionally.
And they know that which I love the NIL being set up the way it is for that side of things, because you're seeing more and more of these international players coming over and making money in college basketball and being put in front of our eyes before they go to the NBA, which I'd rather have than seeing, them getting drafted straight from overseas.
Sure. That ends the basketball portion of the mailbag.
Let's get this one real quick, Aaron. How many more decent minute guys are we expecting? One big for sure, and then maybe one, best available, or see what you can get, or international guy, or maybe a coach leaves and their roster goes into the portal and you can find a guy, whatever. But at least one, maybe two. I would have a hard time seeing them get to, and there's already 9. Having 12 guys seems excessive when you're rebuilding an entire roster.
All right. There was one question. We had 2 questions in the banks. This one actually more directed towards baseball, but that one was buried. I don't know why that one didn't get pinned. Are we saying goodbye to Jack Natilli after this season?
Maybe. I mean, he's starting to show up on top player lists. He's hitting the hell out of the ball.
And he's a catcher, and that's a hard position to fill.
Yeah, it's very possible.
And lastly, given Chad's newfound love of kava, I don't even know what kava is. What is one new restaurant?
Chad?
It's good as hell, Ryan.
All right.
What is one new restaurant or other culinary delight you've recently gotten into? Mine is the Kirkland peanuts from Costco in the big gold can. By far the best peanuts I've ever had.
High mark. The best food. Right down by the precinct in Columbia, Tusculum, right off the river. It is right next to Eli's Barbecue, kind of, down there.
No
Oh, yeah.
free ads. No free ads. Highmark.
Oh, Himark. I will go on and on and on.
What are they known for?
What kind of food?
We're talking. They got, I think, 6 sandwiches, but then they got wings, chicken. I mean, their wings and chicken is phenomenal. But I'm a big HMPM, Highmark Patty Melt, best patty
Okay.
melt in the city. Write it down.
Making me hungry, bro.
God,
Wings.
the
How are the wings?
sandwich- Their wings
The
are
club
phenomenal.
sandwich
The best
slaps?
wings- the club sandwich, the burger, the patty melt.
Okay,
Yeah,
who owns
killer-
this place? Who are
They
you
had
giving
a killer
free ads
fish
to?
sandwich. They had a killer fish sandwich for Lent. I was there every
Which one of your
Friday.
buddies owns this place?
They don't.
Okay.
I go there. I think I go there 2 times a week.
Are you a Mediterranean food guy, Royer?
Yeah.
Cava's it's very good. I mean, it's Chipotle, but like, remember when Chipotle was good and the
Yeah.
ingredients tasted really good and fresh?
Where
That's
they
Cava.
got bought out by the Taco
Oh.
Bell CEO.
You're talking about,
Yeah.
oh gosh, dude, I thought you were talking about Kava, like the Kava plant, like that. people
No,
make
Cava the restaurant.
that. Okay. Do you know what Kava is? Like the
Yeah.
Kava plant is like a
Yeah.
different alternative to drinking and weed.
Yeah.
It's what Shia LaBeouf got into heavily
Yeah.
after.
No, it's a restaurant that's in Oakley. And
Okay.
they definitely have them down in Florida, Brent.
Okay, because I was like, oh, Chaz into Kava. I was like, okay, he's.
I went there
fired
after
it up.
playing slow pitch at Schmidt Fields. Royer was there at Highmark.
Yes. See?
Another one I like. We've talked about it quite a bit here because I've gotten it. I got it the day that Wes was fired. Ricas in Covington. It's like a butcher deli, and they have like sandwiches, like really really high end sandwiches that I'm a big fan of.
Okay, y'all are getting me damn hungry, man.
We didn't get to start the show with this. We have to find our way to the food somehow.
Well, if you ask
Ryan, I made some incredible lasagna yesterday.
Oh, you mentioned that. I was like, damn.
you did mention that. No one else got to talk about their food, but you did sneak in the lasagna, pup.
It was so good. I had it again for dinner tonight.
Royer, any quick stories from the wedding this weekend?
Yeah. So
if you
let's
don't
see,
know
who
what
was
we're
that?
talking about, Will Huber, Bearcat legacy, got married this weekend. I was personally a little surprised when I saw the wedding party and Des was there and Wiley was there, but there was no Ryan Royer. You shared a room. You were in the same position group as Will Huber, and he went for the star power. He went with Des and he went with Wiley.
Yeah, I know.
You got screwed. You were robbed.
Yeah. No, it's fine. He was a lot close. He was way closer with those guys than he lived with them. He lived with those boys. But yeah, Will's a great guy. So no hard feelings at all by that so-called slight by you, Chad.
I'm just saying.
Let him say the story, Chad. Go ahead, Ryan.
So I was very overserved.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So I was taking a breath of fresh air outside, collect myself, come back in, and you guys know about the shipping up to Boston is the fan song.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The ceiling fan thing. So I walk in and like that's the first song that comes on the thing. And I'm still trying to get my bearings straight kind of. And next thing I know, like it was like Will Huber, Will Adams, Bryce Burton, Wiley all had their hands on me. My shirt immediately off my body. They ripped my shirt off. They have me on their shoulders, carrying me down to the bar area where there's a ceiling fan. And they're getting ready to launch me into the ceiling fan. And then Gabby, the bride, comes out. She's like, "No, guys, you can't. We don't want to pay for that. We don't want to pay for that ceiling fan." And I'm like, "Thank God!" Like because I didn't know what they're gonna do. They're just gonna like throw me up in the air. Like it was kind of high up there. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be. I don't know how I'm gonna receive this fan at this state. It's been a couple of years since I had one of those, and yeah, it was a great time. The Bearcat was there.
Oh, the Bearcat.
Bearcat showed up. We were breaking it down with the Bearcat on the dance floor. That was fun.
So you're saved by the bride, huh?
Yes, I was.
Shouts to the
I
bride.
don't think of any other stupid things that happened. No, that's probably most of it. But it was a great wedding. Great speeches, great food, great people.
This is a great point, Jared. There was definitely some NFL money in that group. They could have afforded replacing a ceiling fan.
It's the bride. Whatever the bride says on the wedding day, you fall.
Opportunity wasted.
Great.
We already rinsed those boys up in the bachelor party in Nashville at a steakhouse. So all those signing bonuses got thrown out the window for me and Bolden to drink bourbon.
Hell yeah. That's right.
That's what they intended their bonuses to be for, right?
Yes. Always.
Absolutely. You got to give back to the less fortunate.
Money spent on the boys is money well spent, baby. Come on.
Just not at the baseball park betting ball strikes.
Every pitch. Yeah. There's not every pitch.
Nope.
It's like 2 Make-A-Wish dreams come true for you, man.
I know. I was about to tell you boys, like, I can finally come clean. The statute of limitations is finally expired. I did bet on Ryan Royer over half for blocked punts versus ECU.
Yes. Gosh, what was that payout?
Well, I don't know. The NCAA never caught on to me. I mean, I think I won like $10 billion.
$12.
Yeah, dude.
I bet a penny and I won 12 billion. So somehow it flew under their nose.
That Miami of Ohio pregame when you said we're gonna be rich, you already were rich. The truth comes out.
Yeah, man. It's all
That's
gone.
A mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
Well, Ryan, thank you.
I thought you said there's 2 questions.
That was 2. We had the Jack Natilli one was also one.
Okay. I thought that was baseball. I didn't know that was in the.
We had Jordan Bischel on the pod. You guys remember that? Golly, he is a legend.
Great. He's so fun to talk to.
He
called himself Eeyore.
Yeah, I know. Eeyore was one of my favorite Disney characters ever growing up.
That checks out.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But yeah, I mentioned it. Gracie and him at UCF, very awkwardly on all fours on top of the dugout, trying to talk to him. It was very strange. Someone snapped a picture of me, sent it to me. It was very weird, but it was good to have him on. And yeah, he was pounding a die-do on the pod. He's a great guy. Baseball team really on a crash course heading to their second straight NCAA tournament, and they're putting things together to make a run in there as well. So that'd be awesome to watch. So make sure you go to the games. That can't go for another week and a half, 2 weeks now. So but go to that final series, home series, and make sure and watch them. But lock in for that. So shouts to Danco Transmission Auto Care. Shouts to Quick Paper Supply. Shouts to Cincy Light Studios. Shouts to Jordan Bischel. And shouts to Ryan Royer, my man. He's the coolest dude in the world. Like, seriously. I mean it. But for the guys, for the crew, for the squad, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, I am Brent Young. You have to get another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!